So what does this all mean? Here's how I think this plays out. I genuinely believe that 80%, and that includes people that are more shy and scared to be on camera and are introverted, I believe that 80% of this audience over the next half decade is gonna start debating having a D-Rock and an Iris and a Babin. I think all of you over the next decade will realize that you are in the media business, that before that you are any kind of agent, you are actually a show. That the shit that you watch on Bravo and HGTV and all the other fucking channels, you could do the same thing. Outside of the guy we have here in his show and about 3 other shows, nobody really watches any of these cable shows. Like an average social media YouTube executor is getting a bigger audience than a lot of these shows on the 15th channel you've never heard of show version of you, and yet you're in the industry and you look at them and be like, oh, they're so lucky. They're not lucky. They have no control of the post-edit. They have no control of the marketing, and nobody knows they're on channel 447 on fucking DirecTV. You're lucky that you haven't signed a deal with any of those kind of things, and the fact that you can take your phone and put on Facebook and YouTube. Literally the biggest thing that's holding back the far majority of this room from going to a completely different level financially and happy-wise is the fact that every year they're just taking home too much of the money they made and they're buying cars and vacations and homes and fucking bullshit jewelry. If you actually took half the money that you took home last year, whatever you did, think about your business, think about what you took, right? Which for a lot of people here is what you made. If you took half of that and you put that into Facebook and Instagram ads and 2 people helping you make content full time, you would make 3 times the money you're gonna make this year, and in 1 year you would have returned back the investment. We have to, thanks. We have to, and you guys can tell, I'm not coming with the normal like, yeah, blah, blah. I'm coming with a very like, listen to me, fuckface. I'm putting a flag in the ground here today, this morning, to make it very clear, which is, I didn't write this new book. This is not what I'm gonna speak about for the next year for kicks and giggles. I'm selfish to be historically correct. The reason you guys like me is I only put out content in one filter. Will I be right when somebody watches this video in 4 years? Period. That's it. No other ROI. No top of the funnel to the course, no, one thing. Will I be right? So I'm always making content that's selfish for the audience, which is why it's good for you. Listen to me good. If you are not fully committed to spending as much money and time on building your personal brand, which means upping your content on these 5 to 7 channels by a magnitude of 50 to 5,000 times more content, you are making a huge mistake. You're making a fundamental miss that you will regret tremendously when you look back at this day in 4 years. And what's interesting is normally, and you guys watch my stuff, this is where I say I'm only hoping for 2 or 3 of you to actually do this. What's emotional for me and probably why we decided to do this conference is I think fucking 20% of you are gonna do this. Because a lot of you have already flirted. You know, it's a lot easier to kind of jump off, you know, a building in a parachute when you've done it off a 20-foot cliff. You guys are already on your way. I just think that the fact that you're on your way, that you've started, that you give a shit, is actually potentially the reason you can't get to the next place. It's good enough. You're checking the box. You are doing it. So many of you are like, I am doing social media, but nothing good has come of it. And to me, this is the moment, and especially, look, I like taking advantage of when times are good. How many people here have been in their industry for over 20 years? Raise your hand. Raise it high. Just want to get a sense. Okay, so here's what you guys know. That people, how many people have been in their industry for less than 9 years? Raise your hand. Perfect. So this is even better than I thought. There's a small percentage here who are over 20. The far majority is under 9. What the under 9s don't know is a bad economy doing this. Maybe they're doing something new. And so I saw the hands and some of them were doing other things and I asked in this profession. So maybe they do know. How many people have only been a professional for less than 10 years? Raise your hand. So this is what I'm scared of. You're soft. You're not soft because you're soft. You're soft because the market has been soft since you've been a professional. You didn't get punched in the fucking mouth in 2008. You didn't fucking melt in 2000 and 2001. You didn't get completely annihilated in the mid-90s. You think you're special, and you don't just realize that it's a simple game right now. There's so much fucking money in the system that there's a ton of fucking C and D players in here who think they're A's because it's fucking easy. That's the truth. And so